Hello, my Wings, and back to another family channel. I'm JMJ Books Corner, and today, oh my god, you best believe we're having a fun video. It's an announcement video. You know how long it's been since I made an announcement video? November. It's been a minute, and I'm so excited to come back. This is one of a few of the coming up year, which is very exciting. And like I've been saying for a long time now, the first book that I was going to publish in the new year was a bind up, and that's what we're doing today. Over the course of the last half of last year, I wrote and released a trilogy called Gunshot Residue, starting with Gunshot Residue, leading to its sequel P49, leading to its conclusion Mr. and Mr. St. James. This came out in September, this came out in November, and this came out in December. I had such a fun time working on this. The first two books, by the time they were coming out, were completed. The third book was in the middle of production, which is crazy. I ran through final edits. I did everything I possibly could to get the best versions out to you. And I will even say this much, there are better versions coming, which is super duper exciting. And also, if I have updated any files, all the files will be updated across everything. So like if you are reading on your Kindle, you're like, ooh, updated file. I don't know why you'd be excited, but maybe you are excited and you're reading it in your Kindle. The Kindle version will be updated, or you can just switch over to the new book when it comes out, if that's what you so desire. Some people like reading them as individuals. These are novellas, and so some people don't like reading novellas, which is crazy to me. I think novellas are great pieces of work. However, some people don't. And so other people like reading it as a full book. It's whatever your preference is. And so I'm releasing it as one. This is it. This is Gunshot Residue, the complete edition. With the complete edition, I'm going to talk a little bit why I decided to do this. We're also going to talk about a little bit of the fun surprises that could be coming with this book. It's nothing grandeur. Do not get your hopes up. And then we're also going to talk about the new blurb because, yeah, I'm going to tell you honest with you. I'm really excited to be able to talk about this trilogy, this series, this everything. But there are spoilers. So we're going to talk about that as well. First things first. Let's give it a moment for the new cover. It's so gorgeous. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Thank you for the love and labor of everybody around me who gave me such great pointers on how to make this the best cover it could be. Does it touch P49? I don't know. Still my favorite cover I think I've ever made. This is a close second though. I love DeMarcus. I love Alex on the cover. They're so beautiful. You know, maybe asking, okay, well, I just clicked on this video randomly. I don't even know what the series is about. What are we talking about, Jacob? Well, Gunshot Residue, this version of Gunshot Residue, is a bind-up of all three of the books I just talked about. That being said, the first original book is 134 pages. I released a novella as my debut, and I realized really early on in the process of releasing that novella, most people don't want to read about a couple that could be cheating. And that's fair. I didn't really realize it was that big of a deal, but it was. Also, I couldn't promote it as what I wanted to promote it as. This is a book that I will promote it as what I want to promote it as. There are minor spoilers, but the first book is now the first like 35, maybe 40% of the book. You know what I mean? No, probably less than that. It's probably in the 30s of the book. So I don't feel bad spoiling this book. However, if you get really excited about it, you're like, that's what this is about. It is somewhat of a spoiler for the first novella, which is what it is, because I wrote it at that. It is the first plot twist. However, this is a series filled with twists and turns, and so ruining one so I can promote it better and so you have an understanding of what the actual book's about, I think is better than not. There's so many twists and there's so many turns, and you know, and I try to keep it on your toes, and I try to do everything the way I want to do it. So I'm gonna read you the new blurb, be on the back of the new book. I did go ahead and grab, because I think this is a perfect sentence for them. That is, how far are the bounds of love, which is the tagline. It is a tagline for book 3. However, I think it is a tagline for the entire series overall. And it reads as this. Alex St. James lived a perfectly normal life. That was until he learned of his husband's secret. DeMarcus St. James had always lived two different lives. Now both are coming crashing into one another. As more secrets come to light and the choices neither can take back, will Alex and DeMarcus be able to survive the fallout? How many times can one person be wrong before they can't forgive, let alone forget? Gunshot Residue is a bind-up of 3 novellas. Gunshot Residue, P49, and Mr. and Mr. St. James. It's a romantic suspense trilogy. Contains content best suited to readers. It doesn't really tell you what the secret is. However, you do know that there is a secret. The first book is promoting the fact that there could be a secret that he believes is your husband's secrets enough to shatter your world. I also think is a great thing for the first book. It's like, what are you really capable of is a great thing for the second book for tagline. However, for the relationship, which is what this entire story is about, I do think how far are the bounds of love, because we're talking about two characters that are, well, we have one character who's getting brought into nothing but turmoil and another character who is trying to protect them at the most that they can, doing a very shit job at it is really what the answer is. And so I think it's really fun to have these like two characters and be able to talk about them fully. Alex St. James, at the beginning of this book, is a teacher. He's going through something pretty wild is the best way I know how to describe it. Essentially, he is someone who is under a lot of medication, and he decides one minute because he feels like something's off about him, but he's going to stop taking on the medication. He's going to stop listening to his doctors, which this is not a promotion for anybody to do that. If you feel like your medication is harming you in ways or such, I wouldn't recommend this. I don't think you're what Alex becomes. Then we have DeMarcus, who is living a double life. Now, a lot of people, when they hear double life, they think of two things. He's a cheater and he has a whole other family, or he's a spy. And yes, it is the second one that I just flipped you off with. DeMarcus is a spy. That is like the biggest thing. The whole point of the series, why I couldn't tell you about it, is I do have comm titles. They're just fucking movies. And I couldn't tell you anything about it. And that is the most egregious one. I think it's so obvious. I try to make it so obvious. I try to make the cover make it so obvious. And that is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. My favorite movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. I adore that film with so much love. That's definitely what this entire inspiration was. I was like, how can I do Mr. and Mrs. Smith and make it gay? And Gunshot Residue was born. Is it a Mr. and Mr. Smith? Like, are they very similar in a lot of ways? No. However, the relationship pattern from book 1 to book 3 is similar. It's following an interesting pattern. Alex was based off a character from another movie, which I think is too much of a spoiler, so I'm not going to reveal it here. I might reveal it somewhat in the marketing at some point, but like at that moment, no. There is a third one, which is more representation of DeMarcus and how calm he is in a lot of situations, and how he's trying to work through things, and how he's kind of gutsy and he's just willing to do it all, even if it means the cost of everything. That was also based on a different character, or the idea was based on a different character. I don't even think it embodied it whatsoever. However, with that also being said, that particular format or whatever had an interesting thing that I started to play around with for like the whole point of the series. Because the whole point of the series is that DeMarcus is a spy, and by the end, Alex and DeMarcus get wrapped up into this world of conspiracy and politics, and for some people that's great, and for Alex it's not. Quite terrible. It's quite horrible. He's really rung through every horrible thing you can think of. And also, like, another thing here is that the first book I wouldn't count as disturbing. However, I will have to say there's parts in the later half of the story that I would count as a little triggering and a little disturbing, and so I'm planning on putting up trigger warnings on the website in case you're interested in seeing those, as I'm sure some people are interested in knowing what the triggers are for this book series, because there is sex, there is violence, there is language, there is torture, there's a lot of different things that are explored in here that I think could be very upsetting for one another, but there's also a lot of things in here that I think a lot of people could enjoy. But that's Gunshot Residue. The release date comes out April 6th, 2026 is when it comes out. I think it's officially a week from the time this video goes up, which is very exciting. And I hope you guys will be there for release day. Or once again, also, if you've been waiting to pick up this book series and you're just waiting for like the next chance to do it, this is a great chance to do it. I'm so excited for this to come out. I'm so excited to move on to other projects. With the bind up, that also being said, there is a fun little surprise at the end. A fun little cute little announcement with a little extra. I had plans for other extra things. Book 3 in particular had like 6 or 7 like deleted scenes in it. When I read through them again, I didn't really like them, so I didn't really move on with it. And then the epilogue, which you're finally getting, which is very exciting, it had like 4 additions, and only one of them I think really works for the story, so I didn't include the rest. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you all next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye!